So I'm going to take a few minutes and explain some of the details of our tunnel setup in case you're interested in experimenting on your own. In our tunnel, we have used this white plastic. It's white on top and black on the underside. So we use the black on the underside for weed suppression, and then the white on top keeps the roots cooler. And keeping the roots cooler is important at a couple different times in the season. So that is when they're first getting transplanted in the late summer and into the fall. It helps cool the roots when the temperatures are still pretty high in here. And then also in the spring, as the days get longer and there's more light in the tunnel, this serves the same purpose of keeping the roots cool on a lot of these cool weather loving crops that we have growing in here. So we've found that the white plastic works really well for most things. We also have just weed mat down the rows and anywhere else where soil might be showing, just to help to minimize weeds and to keep things manageable in here. I'm standing in front of the sweet peas right now. We use a couple of different trellising and training options for the crops that we have in the tunnel, and we have vertical Hort Nova for the sweet peas, and it's stretched between these T-posts. And then just in general, we found with our tunnel overwinter crops that there's typically pretty lush vegetative growth, and plants tend to get a bit higher and a bit more vigorous than you would expect in a field planting. So we have found that some sort of trellising or support system is important for just about everything that we've tried in the tunnel. And so again, you can see really vigorous sweet peas growing here. So along with the Hort Nova, we also, as the plants start to grow, we use strings of twine that we just attach to the T-posts and use this to kind of hold up the branches as they're growing and climbing. And we'll just as the plants climb, add another layer of twine to sort of hold them back. And that's kind of the extent of the trellising that we do with the sweet peas. That seems to work pretty well for us. So in addition to climbing crops like sweet peas, we also use Hort Nova for upright crops, just to help keep the stems and the branches in place as the plants are growing. Again, they grow typically a little more vigorously than we would find in the field, and we definitely find we need some sort of support to keep the branches from leaning out into the aisles. So these are the Chabot carnations that you see right here, and we typically lay down 2 layers of Hort Nova and kind of raise it as the plants grow. Another thing I wanted to mention is our spacing in our tunnel, and this may vary depending on your production system, what other things you are growing in your tunnels, but for us, we typically do 3 rows per bed. This is a 36-inch bed, and so we have three rows of plants going down the bed. We do 6-inch spacing for most of the crops that we have trialed in our tunnel, except for a few like, let's see, the Ami, the Rudbeckia, and the foxglove. Those seem to benefit from a little bit wider spacing, so we put a foot between those plantings. But again, pretty much everything you've seen in the tunnel is spaced 3 rows per bed, 6 inches between plants, and using the Hort Nova as a grid at planting makes it pretty fast and efficient. Again, you may find that a wider spacing could work better for you. One of the things that we have found is one of the challenges in our overwinter tunnel is a little bit of aphid pressure, and so we've found that it is really helpful in managing that to keep things cut back to harvest in a timely manner. And another way that could be managed is with a little bit wider spacing between some things. Again, we've had really productive plantings, and I think that you could widen the spacings a little bit on beyond 6 inches and still make good use of the real estate in a tunnel.